Okay guys, today I have a very important video because in the last week as I was recording the next Unigirls face rating video, a very serious accusation had been made against me. To put it simply, I had been accused of harassment, and that resulted in my expulsion from the campus. Just to clear up one potential misunderstanding, I didn't get expelled from the university. A better word maybe to use is banished or removed. Essentially, I'm not allowed to come back, but I'm 100% certain that if I was enrolled in a course at the university, there would have been a very, very serious implications to follow. I almost definitely would have been expelled from whatever course I was doing. They took my details to security guards, and there's still potentially charges to come. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this is the end of it as I explained the story, but it seems that whatever's happened has been very, very serious, and it's been taken very, very seriously. And just before I get into explaining the story, to give a little bit of background, as you guys know, I record interview videos. I'll just bring a couple on the screen here now. These have been quite popular, as you can see, 70k views, 200k views, the last few that I've uploaded. And as you can imagine, the way that I make these videos is I go to the campus and I approach lots and lots and lots of girls. The conversion rate usually settles in at around 40%. I'm reasonably efficient at getting girls to agree to be on it, and I have a reasonably decent system. If you want to see how it works, then I actually have another video on the second channel where I show a longer interaction. I'd highly recommend checking out that video after you watch this one. It's a 2.5-minute interaction with two girls, and you can see I just break down all of the techniques and strategies I use to increase the chance that some girls will be happy to help out and participate in the video. But just to keep things nice and short, for this video I've got a short interaction of me going up to a girl, and this one's only about 10-15 seconds long, and this was actually the worst interaction of the day, so I'll just show you what happened. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. I know you're probably in the middle of a... You got your headphones on or something? Oh, okay, sorry to interrupt you. I know you're probably in the middle of a really important message or something like that. But me and my friend, we're recording a video today.
Right, thanks.
Oh, okay, you definitely sure?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So, as you can see, that just gives you a basic idea of how the approaches go down. And as I've said, this was the worst interaction. I was quite caught off guard that she just immediately said, "No thanks, I'm out." But that's as bad as it gets, really. Most are very sincere, and they at least, give you the time of day. They want to find out a bit more. And I show that in the video on the second channel. I 10,000% recommend watching that video after this one, by the way. It's probably the best video I've uploaded to the second channel. But anyway, that just gives you a basic idea of, even at the worst case scenario, this is how respectful it still is, and I don't think for 1 second it constitutes harassment, so I'm honestly baffled that I've even been accused of this. But anyway, now let me get into the actual story of how I was accused. So, at this particular part of the day, we had already recorded 8 recordings so far, so we'd had 8 girls who had already agreed to be in the video, and we only needed 2 more. And we were sitting on this grass area, and then I see, in the corner of my eye, some security guards walking over to us. And then there was a couple behind us as well, and one more, that was all walking into our direction. So, at this part I was like, this is interesting, this is a bit funny. I wonder what these guys are looking for. Maybe they're just trying to see what I'm doing. Maybe they just want to see what it's about. Anyway, they come over to us, and I see them talking in their little walkie-talkies, and I overhear one of them. He's like, "Yeah, this is the guy. We're just about to engage with him now." So they come over to me, and I'm encircled by these 5 security guards now. And the first one speaks up, and he says, "Excuse me, mate, so what do you think you're doing?" And I say, I'm recording a video. And he says, "Well, we've been getting complaints that you've been going around harassing the girls on the campus." And then I am taken aback, and I'm thinking, well, I say, okay, who's made these complaints and what have they said? And then he says, well, we've received an emergency alert on our app, which alerts all of the security guards that there's been a report of harassment. And at this point, I'm starting to get in a little bit more of a understanding of what's happened. So basically, there's an app which is provided by the university and allows people to report misconduct or any inappropriate behaviour. And I also think it's used for snuggle struggle, if you guys know what I mean when I say that. So that's what has been happening so far. And the next thing that the security guard said, I remember this quote exactly. I remember exactly what he said. I actually have it written down. So, what you been doing? Have you been going around asking the girls if they want to go out with you? And I say, no, I've just been making a video. And then I say after, and even if I was approaching the girls, trying to date them, what would be the issue? And this is the important part. And then he said back to me, and this is the part that I exactly remember. We don't want any girls being harassed on campus. And it's our job to make sure this is a safe space where the girls feel comfortable. And as soon as he said that, that exposed exactly what I predicted. And it shows that approaching women, well, at least in the eyes of the security and in the woman that's reported me, you're not allowed to approach women anymore. It is apparently harassment to go up to girls. This was just for a video, by the way, mind you. Imagine if I was doing it with romantic interests, which is just crazy. It's just baffling to me. And this is how I'm getting into the next part of the video, which I'm showing like how much this angers me and annoys me, that this is going to have drastic consequences to the dating market. And let me make one thing absolutely crystal clear. If you approach women with romantic intent, you go up to them and you say that you find them attractive, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with going up to a woman, as long as you're respectful, as long as you take no means no. Fair enough, if you follow her home and stalk her, that's a completely different ballpark. That's harassment. But if you go up to a girl and you make your intention clear, you say, I find you attractive and I wanted to get to know you a little bit better, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It doesn't constitute harassment. And you can see why I'm getting a little bit annoyed by what's happened, because the fact that it's happened to me, it makes me think how many other guys have been, who are innocent, have had something like this happen to them. It's baffling. It really, really angers me. And it doesn't just affect the men who want to go approach women and want to make something about their dating life. It affects women as well. It's this 5% of women who wrongly accuse guys of harassment that are messing it up for everyone. And I've got examples of this. Just watch this video. It shows what I mean. This 5% of women are ruining the dating market for everyone else.
If you don't use dating apps, it's common knowledge that anytime you go out in public ever is a possible mating experience. That's common knowledge. That's old news. We know, okay? Anytime you go out, it's possible this could be your time, right? Okay, so tell me why every time I go out, I'm feeling it, right? Put on a dress, hair's done, I got it going on, I'm feeling cute. I'm like, all right, let's do this, right? It could just be me running errands. Nothing special, but I'm popping over places left and right, you know what I'm saying? I don't so much as make eye contact with somebody, let alone have someone come up to me asking for my number. Everyone on dating apps, the online thing, that's you. That's all you. Get it, girlfriend. You get that. You know what I'm saying? You do that online thing. But for everyone else who wants a normal type of relationship, when's it our turn? Where is this happening? Where are people meeting each other? I'm not kidding. And it's such a deflating feeling when you're done your errands and you're going home and you're just in your car, still looking cute, but not feeling cute anymore. No, you don't, because nothing happened. Not one person came up to you telling you you're so beautiful, I want to take you out. That didn't happen, did it? No. So now what? When's it our turn, okay? I'm done.
So this shows you what's happening. And the reason it's happening is because, as I said, those 5% of women who wrongly accuse guys of harassment, it means that guys don't want to approach women anymore. The 95% of women that do want to get approached, women like this, who are not on the dating apps, they want to be approached by men, and they see countless ones that they find attractive every single day. The men aren't approaching them. The men aren't approaching them anymore because of that 5% who's going to accuse them of something. And now I have to deal with this as well. And she's not the only one. She's not the only one. I found another video of a similar woman who had the exact same issue.
How the f*** are we meant to meet people in this day and age? So many people say it. I want to meet someone the old-fashioned way. But we're all too scared to do so.
I'll tell you how that TikTok went. She said, correct, up until the last statement, wrong. Men aren't too scared. There are plenty of men that would love to approach women, and they see plenty of attractive women every single day they go out. But they don't approach them anymore. Because they have this fear. Well, the only fear that they have isn't the fear of approaching women, it's a fear of getting accused for something that they simply haven't done. That's the problem. And it's terrible for women, the women that don't want to get sucked in on these dating apps, which we all know is a disaster. And it's also terrible for the men, the bottom 90% of men whose, realistically, their only foot in the door in today's dating market is cold approach. And I'll explain why. Most guys, our society is so segregated nowadays that most men stick to themselves and most women stick to themselves. If you go to a certain course at school or you're in a certain field at work, chances are you're with all men. You're surrounded by all men. If you're construction, engineering, maths, whatever it is, it's going to be all men there. Likewise for the women, nursing, teaching, it's all women. So warm approach for most people isn't an option. 90% of guys don't have a social circle, so that just leaves online and cold approach. And as for online, we all know that it's only the top 10% of men that get any results on that. So if you're in the bottom 90%, you're not going to get any matches. And even if you do get occasional matches, they'll just flake. So that means that your only option now is just cold approach. You've only got options for cold approach. But now women are saying, this 5% of women that's messing it up for everyone is saying that we can't cold approach anymore. Because that's harassment. So what's essentially happening, what this 5% of women who are wrongly accusing guys of harassment, what they're causing in the dating market now is they're saying, okay, yeah, the top 10% of men, you can clean up on dating apps, you can have all of the women, but if you're in the bottom 90%, no, you're not allowed to date anymore. You're not involved anymore. You can just stay at home, not have any girls. You're excluded from the dating market. That's the end result that's going to cause, because dating apps is the only option apparently for most guys now. And we all know that that only caters for the top 10% of men. Average guys can't cold approach. If you're an average guy, your only option to potentially get women would be cold approach, because that's where you can bring your other merits to the table. You can display your social skills. You can show other qualities about yourself, which isn't just going to weed you out like the other bottom 90% of men who get nothing on dating apps. If you cold approach as an average guy, you actually have a chance. But these 5% of women, they don't want that anymore. That's harassment. The only people that they are saying has a step in this game, who has their foot in the door for the dating market nowadays, is this top 10% of chads. That's the only people that they want to be doing anything in today's dating market. They can hog all of the women. That's what they're saying. Anyway, you can see I'm getting really frustrated by what's happened. It's been a very stressful week for me. But hopefully you can see why I'm so angry. Not just for what happens to me, but for what's happening to the whole dating market. I'm not going to say anything more for this because I think I've made everything clear that I needed to. But that's the video.